There. So listen, man. I like to say this every time I do a talk back. You guys can ask me anything that you want. Try to embarrass me. I dare you. It has not been accomplished yet. Now, I'm not going to promise to answer anything that you've asked, but so far, there's been nothing over my line. So, I don't know where the microphone might be in the house. If it's center stage there?
Yep.
Right in the middle? It's empty right now, so if anyone's brave enough, I'm much better off the cuff than I am just talking about myself like when I eat for breakfast. Do I have to hold it? Is this on?
Oh, look at everybody.
Hi, my name's Katie.
Hey, Katie. I wrote a song about you. I'm going to sing it tonight in Assembly Hall.
I'm going to be there.
Katie, where are you?
I'm right over here.
Hey!
Okay, so my question is, in your opinion, in a perfect world, during the episode of Crush, had Buffy not rejected Spike, had she wanted to make it happen, Spike had changed without a soul.
That's a very interesting question because the thing is, when I got on Buffy, it was very apparent right from the start that Joss was very uncomfortable with my character.
Okay.
He backed me up against the wall one day and he said, I don't care how popular you are. You are dead, 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 dead. What I came to appreciate was, what?
What he says to all the characters.
No, yeah. What I came to appreciate is that for Joss, vampires were a metaphor for all of the stuff that you have to overcome in adolescence. And so vampires are supposed to be ugly and very quickly dead. And they were not, he used to say all the time, I don't like that Anne Rice crap. He didn't want you to feel for the vampires. He didn't want you to be in their corner. And he got talked into one romantic vampire, that was Angel, by his writing partner, David Greenwald. And Angel took off like a rocket ship, right? And so when I came on, I was supposed to be this dirty punk rock character, but they put the makeup on me and everything, and something else happened. And I was imperiling the show. And so I was constantly thinking, how can I not get fired? and I basically played Spike I played him as if he had a soul from the very start. As an artist, I always say, where is the love? If you're singing a song, or if you're making a sculpture, or if you're telling a story, if you know where the love is, you know where the vein of gold is that the audience will respond to. So I was always like, where is Spike's love? And at first it was in Drusilla. You know, it was like, okay, there's where his love is, and I'm going to give her full love. And I gave her soulful love. And when they gave me a soul, I was like, shh. What am I going to do now? I can't change the way I'm playing it. I've already been doing that, and luckily the writing did it for me.
Right, right.
You know? So Spike's had nowhere to change to with the soul anyway.
Right.
But I mean, if I'm speaking as an observer of the series, then no.
Okay.
Then Spike has to have a soul. And even more than having a soul, he has a lot of growth to do before he deserves Buffy.
Absolutely, I agree with that, yeah.
Buffy was right to spurn him. He was not ready for her yet.
Oh, I agree with that, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Hello.
Hey, man.
Hi, my name is Stephanie. I'm with StatGeeks.com. I love your audiobook reading of the Dresden Files. So I was hoping maybe you could tell us a little more about that. Maybe I'm guessing the hardest character is Pixies, or what characters you like to do.
Doing this when I was 13 years old. I said, this was kind of
come and handle some goals.
And it never did. As soon as I got that, I turned the page, I was like, oh, now I'll use it. Yeah, that's like, I'm proud of doing the books on tape because it frankly is one of the hardest jobs I've ever done in my life. Like when you're acting for film, when you're acting on stage, you could be on stage for 3 hours straight. But you say one line and you pass the ball to someone else and then they do their part and they feed you. When you're doing film, you might be acting for 40 seconds at a time and then they say cut, you go back to your trailer and you lay down. But when you do a book on tape, it's like 9 hours straight with a 20-minute break for lunch. And other than that, you're just reading into a microphone trying to get the words right and the characters straight and everything. And it's confusing. Like I have no brain left at the end of one of those days. But yeah, the pixie scene when there was like 5 different pixies with different pixie voices, that was confusing. And then there was a council of wizards where every wizard was described as having an English accent and a deep bass voice. And I was just like, Jim, you're killing me. Jim Butcher is the author. It's like, Jim, man, come on, can't one of these guys be from Ireland somewhere?
I can't believe the accents you're able to pull off now, the ranges of the...
It's just a function of pure terror. Seriously, artistically, the best time is when you jump off the cliff because you have no choice. And you better start flapping because otherwise you're going to fall. And I find that some of the best artistic stuff happens in panic.
Thank you very much.
What's your favorite thing to do on your free time?
What do I do in my free time? I do not have it. No, I do. Wow. I guess it would be play music with the band.
Nice.
I am extraordinarily lucky. My son got voted into the band behind my back. He is my son. How many people come to the show tonight? Yeah. We're doing it at the Assembly Hall. Doors open at 7 o'clock. Max, our warm-up band from New York, is going on at 8 o'clock. We're going to go on Ghost of the Robot. My band is going to go on between 9 and 9:30. And we've sold out shows in London, Florence, Italy, Berlin, Paris, New York, Chicago, San Francisco, everywhere. And we're here now. In fact, we record all of our albums here. But anyway, we were in Santa Monica, and Sullivan brought his band to warm up for us. And after the show, the band comes up to me en masse and says, we found our new guitarist. I'm like, oh, thank God. Who is he? Your son. Okay, he's good. Okay, and they said, yeah, man, as a father, you can veto this, of course, but as a bandmate, we've already voted, so shut up. So, I'm extraordinarily lucky. I get to do something that I love. I've been playing in bars since I was 13, and now I get to do it with my son. It's kind of funny, like, I sucked at baseball when I was growing up. Like, anything with a ball that you have to pass, like a reindeer game of any kind, I can't do that thing. And Sullivan was an all-star pitcher for his team. And I'm trying to be a good dad and be a catcher. And he's like just burning it into me, and I can barely protect myself. And I throw it back to him and it falls on the ground. He tries to laugh. And then he said, I want to learn guitar. And I'm like, oh. So I taught him what I knew, and then I went off to Europe to film something. And by the time I got back, he had surpassed me in that. And he is a monster guitarist. So I get to play music with my band. It's not mine, but with the band. A bunch of guys that I respect and love deeply, but I also get to do it with my son. And when you get to create something on the fly, moment to moment, with people that you love, that's really the best thing. That and video games.
PS4?
PS4. Like, I played it for like 12 hours one day and it just shut off automatically. I was like, dude, that's enough. And I was so worried. I had a hard time going to sleep. Like, I broke her. I got up the next morning and she turned back on and it was okay. But yeah, I bought all the launch titles. I'm like, wait for Infamous.
Infamous!
To come out. Wait. I'm heartbroken over Watchdog.
Oh, I know.
Okay, that's what I like.
August. Great question.
So now I have two questions. One, what is your PS4's name? And the more important question is, as such,
nothing more beautiful than PS4.
As such a defining, having such a defining role in the vampire genre across all things, how do you feel about such horrible things as Twilight?
I think that in a few more years we won't be talking about Twilight.
We can only hope.
You know, I will say this in defense of Twilight, it did start my daughter reading. Like Harry Potter did with my son, Twilight did with my daughter. In that way, cool. The movies are just hilarious. Really, I mean, for unintended comedy, if you get your guys ready, you can get your friends around and just start laughing. It's delicious. I don't know, the thing that I liked about Buffy was that it was about how do you come to the stage of life where you realize that most adults are idiots, that the world is messed up, that your teachers barely understand the subjects that they're teaching. How do you come to that moment of clarity and not give up on the world and not give up on yourself? How do you continue? What do you decide to fight for? How do you keep trying? It's a great theme. It's like that's basically Catcher in the Rye. It's basically the same theme as Hamlet. And Buffy really dug into that theme. And I don't want to diss anybody, but I don't, like there'd be some other vampire things kind of center around who am I going to kiss. And that's part of the story. And that's cool. But I think that's only part of the journey of that time in my life. I mean, when I was at that age, who am I going to kiss was very important, but there was other things too. So I think that Buffy kind of got a bigger canvas, more important things to talk about.
Thank you.
So, in a ranking of all the amazing work you've done, where would you fit Piccolo in there?
I wouldn't take that back for anything in the world. You learn more from the failures than you do from the successes. Okay. It was better than Shadow Puppets. Don't see that movie. I was told unequivocally by the head of casting at Universal, you get one of those. You do another one like that, you're gone, dude. Okay, I remember when I did Torchwood, right? And I called my son, and he was like 12 years old at this point. And I said, dude, I got the best role. I got a samurai sword, dude. I got 2 awesome guns. I've got this wristwatch that sends me through time. And he goes, do you win, Dad? What? And he goes, like at the end, you always get in a fight with the hero and you always lose. You lose the fight, Dad. I lose the fight. He starts talking about something else. So in general, he has no interest. A kid does not want to see their parent lose. They don't want to see their parent be a villain all the time. But when I got cast as Piccolo, my son was like, Dad. So I was all into it. I was told that it was a $130 million picture and that Stephen Chow was producing it. Now, Stephen Chow directed Shaolin Soccer and Kung Fu Hustle,
yes,
which are awesome Chinese movies, and they're perfect in both, the violence and the humor are that combination. He's just a perfect person to do that, and I was just so on board with that package. And I turned my back. I was on a cop show, right? I was on Without a Trace, and they were like grooming me for like a big part of the show going into their 5th year. And then I got Piccolo, and I just quit. They were so mad at me. Right? I was like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm Piccolo, I'm out. And it was like a 3-picture deal and everything. I get out to the desert, I find out it's a $30 million picture, and Stephen Chow's nowhere to be seen. And I don't know, man. I just decided, I just have the little department of James Marsters, and I'm just going to try to make Piccolo as close to the anime as I can. Yeah. And so I basically, I noticed in the anime they're either very stoic and very still, or they're screaming at the top of their lungs. Yeah. So basically those are the 2 notes that I played. But yeah, I almost got fired. I mean, I told them, make me old and decrepit. This is King Piccolo, not Piccolo yet. So when my woman comes to set, I want her not to want to kiss me. I want her to be repulsed by me. And they were really nervous about that. They also didn't want to make him green.
What?
Yeah, I was great through most of the filming, and I finally went to the director. I said, you know, if I'm not green in this movie, you know that both of our careers are over. And he goes, really? I'm like, yes. And I got them to make me green for the final fight, as if, you know, his blood was green, and when he gets really excited, he becomes green. And I thought, well, at least I got that. But luckily, they went back with the computer and greened him for the whole movie. Thank God. But hey, you know, you try things. Some of them work out, some of them don't.
Well, you're definitely one of the better parts of that movie, for sure.
Yes.
Hi, yeah, just out of morbid curiosity, when you were doing Torchwood and you had that kiss with John Barrowman, the question was, did John Barrowman try to cop a field?
No, John was a complete gentleman. And also a pretty good kisser, I have. What I learned on that day was shave. And guys, if you want to kiss anybody, including women, shave. It's really scratchy. It's like a 5 o'clock shadow at 9 a.m. You know. My fiance directed that kiss. She was on a bar stool 5 feet away. John and I would kiss each other, and we'd turn to Jasmine and say, "How was that?" Jasmine would go, "Oh, that was good." But I think we need another take. And I learned something, that the women like the guy-on-guy action. I have no idea. You guys are just like we are.
Yes. First of all, as a teacher, teaching your kids to read anything is awesome. So, whatever it is, works great. I was going to ask who's the better kisser, Buffy or Captain Jack, but in Torchwood, do you wish you had gone longer on in the story arc?
Oh, God, yes. Oh, God, yes. That was delicious. I mean, that character was absolutely delicious, and he just kept getting badder and badder. And I mean, when I shot him up with 2 Uzis, I was like, let this go on forever. And then I strung him up in chains and like electrocuted him. So I'm like, oh, this wrong. Yeah. And then I got an action figure out of it. And I'm like, I'm in, baby. I was like, oh, okay, all right. And then I asked him, can I be on who? Right? Yeah. And the producer goes, no way in hell. I'm like, what, did I make you mad? He's like, no, you're too good. You're too nasty. Your character's a very naughty character, and Who's got kids watching it, and we don't want to vanilla out your character to come on Who, but there's no way I'm putting you in that universe.
Still try for Who.
Hello. As a musician, I'm always really curious what gets people inspired or want to even pick up a guitar, write songs. What kind of bands influenced you, or just what in general inspires you?
Yeah. I think I picked up a guitar because my dad played me guitar when I was young. I think my son did the same. I used to put him to bed every night with songs. It was great because it was all love on my part, but then it was a Pavlovian response. When I wanted him to go to bed, I started playing guitar. So.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. As far as influences, it's hard to say. You know, I think some of my chord progressions resemble Nirvana, Kurt Cobain.
Yeah.
There's a way that he uses. Sorry. There's a way that he uses 4 chords, and It's like, it's 2 pairs of chords, and each pair, the 2 chords talk to each other, and then those 2 have a dialogue with the other 2. It's kind of hard to explain, but like that. And then I strain toward Joni Mitchell in some of my melodies a little bit. Sounds like a weird combination. But I have some weird intervals and jazzy intervals in my stuff. And lyrically, I don't know. I just try to speak from the heart. I don't know if I can say that I'm following anybody. I could say that I wish I was Bob Dylan, but everyone wishes they were Bob Dylan.
That's true. Thank you.
Short. Sorry, I'm short.
You're the same size as Sarah Gellar, baby. Wear it.
Okay, if they were to redo Buffy the Vampire Slayer, who would you cast as Spike?
Good question. Man, that was the joke on the set, because they were thinking like they're gonna make a movie out of this someday when we're all a little older, it'll be all this cool thing, because Sarah will still play Sarah, but she'll be, older now and all of that. And I was like, yeah, who's gonna play Spike? Because Spike is not gonna age, so it ain't gonna be me. Who? I don't know if I don't know. Who would you guys say? I don't know. Oh yeah, me. I'm gonna face it. I'm on another starvation diet. I starved myself.
This is why they invented Photoshop.
I realized that the only people to make marks as vampires were rail thin, except Bela Lugosi. He was the only one to get away with a pot belly playing vampire. And so I basically starved myself for 6 years. So yeah, they'd have to pay me a lot of money if I would do that again.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, I'm Shannon.
Hey, Shannon.
I was wondering, what was your personal favorite episode of Buffy? Mine is Dead Things.
Good choice. I would have to say the musical for me. For the reason that we were terrified. We were convinced that all of our careers were over, that Joss had gone insane, that he was going to throw everyone's career under the bus. Like, he gave us a cassette tape instead of a script that week. And it was him and his wife, Kai, singing the songs of the show. And God bless him, he's a genius and a very kind person, but he's not singing, playing the piano. And the songs really didn't shine, I'll be polite. They sounded like they sucked. And so I took the cassette back out of my trailer and I stumbled into Sunshine and I was like, what is going on? And like everyone else did the same thing on lunch period, and they're all coming out of their trailers like, what is happening to the show? And Tony Head and I were all already comfortable seeing it publicly. We were already doing it. But the rest of the cast wasn't. And they, I think, legitimately felt like, look, you hired me to be a dramatic actor, and now you're asking me to be a musical actor. And that's just not fair. You're gonna show people, millions of people, stuff that I can't do so well. How dare you? And Joss is like, no, you're gonna do it. And he knew that he could do it. We didn't. And in the face of what we thought was sheer doom, we decided to stop whining about it, stop fighting it, and just get to work. And we tried the hardest, and we flapped. We jumped off the cliff, and we didn't stop. And I'm just really proud of the whole company for that. I think it was amazing.
I listened to the soundtrack the way here.
Oh, nice.
Hello. When you played Brainiac in Smallville, did you like playing that role? And was it like fun being an iconic villain of Superman?
Yeah, Smallville.
Yeah, I loved it. When I was growing up, I was more of a Batman fan. If you shoot Batman, he's dead. So it's inherently dangerous. Every time Batman falls from a building, he might die, he might break his neck. Superman is hard because vulnerability, is just kind of a weak choice dramatically. How do you get someone into an adventure if he can't be hurt? And the thing that I thought was so good about Smallville, the genius thing that Al Goff did, was that he put the character before he was Superman, when he was vulnerable because he was ignorant, because he was too young to know yet. And the adventures could be more than super adventures. They could just be falling in love. And there's a vulnerability right there. And I just thought that was genius. And the one character that I responded to really heavily in the comics was Brainiac. He freaked me out. Reading them as a young kid, a robot with a maniacal smile like that was just really scary to me. And I remember getting the scripts and going, oh, they're not going to go that way. I mean, he's a very calm character in the show. But then I attacked Clark in the Fortress of Solitude, and I was like, this is my moment. I'm going to go maniacal. But I had a great time. It's a great cast, and so much money. They have big toys. That was the thing. It's like on Buffy, when there's a fight, you just get your ass handed to you all night long. There's no special, there's not a lot except just pain. On Smallville, Tom hits you, and then special effects takes over for 3 days, and they've got big gimbals that take you and spin you 300 feet in different directions, and all the green screen and all of this stuff, and it's toys the whole time. I love it.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, Dirk van der Heijden, International Press for Belgium. One of the 3 print magazines I write for is all about inspiring people. And would you mind sharing one inspirational story to the audience here and our readers, please?
Yeah. No, I've been inspired so much. Oh, here's one. Here's one. Don't whine. When the going gets tough. I was shooting P.S. I Love You in New York. And I was shooting with Kathy Bates, who is, I believe, in her late 60s or 70s at this point. And Kathy had 102 temperature that day. And she has won an Academy Award, right? And they shot I was in the scene where I'm standing next to her, and they shot the back of our head for 11 hours over onto Hillary, who's a wonderful person and an Academy Award winner. That's great. But it took them 11 hours to turn around and finally get to Kathy's face. And I thought, okay, we're turning around, and now she's got to deliver her performance. I think she may have a word for this director. And she's got her hand on the door, waiting for the word action. And she turns around to me and goes, "Men from the boys, James, men from the boys, let's go." And that's all she said. She didn't complain. It was just time to go. 102 temperature, 69 years old, don't whine.
Hi again, James. How are you?
I'm doing so good.
I'm looking forward to seeing your band tonight at 7:30 at the Assembly downtown.
You are lucky rocker.
Looking forward to that. I just have a simple question. What is the happiest that you've ever been in your life?
Oh.
Right now. Or building cities and Legos with my 5-year-old son, and then pretending to be dinosaurs and ripping them apart. Getting all the kids in the neighborhood and handing out, being able to afford to hand out realistic lightsabers to them all. Getting my double-edged lightsaber and playing Darth Maul and having them all attack me at once. Having the ability to defend swordsmanship, to defend against all of that without hurting any of these little kids. So much.
That's awesome.
So much. But probably the birth of my son.
Oh.
Well, you're wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hello. I'm short too. A lot of short people here. So, first of all, High Plains Invaders rocked. I love it. Every time it comes on, I watch it.
We paid for that shoot. Oh. That was in Romania, man. And it was in the middle of winter. it was the set. They built this cowboy town for Cold Mountain and didn't tear it down and just rent it out now as a cowboy town. And like, if your production has more money, they'll rent it out in the summertime. But if they don't, it'll be in the wintertime. And on a cowboy town, there's no pavement, right? So it's just mud. And it had just rained, and the mud was like that thick. And the whole movie, you're just crawling around in the mud, trying to escape the aliens. And the mud was sucking off our shoes, and we were just crawling around ice-cold mud, watching the horses do what they do to the mud all day.
Well, it was worth it for us.
Oh, it was worth it for me, too. You know, they make showers.
My question actually is, do you, when you read Jim Butcher's, because I'm spending this year with you while I listen to the Jim Butcher novels, so every day you're with me on my walk, thank you.
Right on.
And do you read them ahead of time, or do you, do you study the books a lot in order to get all those voices? How do you prep for reading a book like that on tape?
I read them once, and then if there is a character that I don't have a basic idea for, then I have to go learn it, you know. Luckily, Jim pretty much keeps characters in my wheelhouse, which is European accents, you know, so he might have an Italian or a French, but a lot of it's English or Southern, US. So pretty much I've already got that in my pocket, and then it's just a question of modulating that and then being in character. And that's pretty much it. I did a series of books called Vampire Empire, where they were just like from Africa, they were from Japan, they were all the accents that I have no idea how to do that accent. And I had to do a lot of homework.
Awesome.
And I don't even know if it was good.
Well, thank you very much. Keep reading, and we love you.
Right on, I will.
Hello, sir.
Hey, man.
How's it going? I was wondering what your perfect sandwich is.
Which, by the way, is a perfect thing to eat. I love sandwiches. I love sandwiches.
Sandwiches love you, sir.
I think a BLT is the one that never lets me down. It's a good garden tomato, and good crisp bacon, and good fresh oil.
Let's talk bread, sir.
I like something with a nice crust on it, you know? I like something that you can get your teeth into. Or there's a sandwich in London, like if you tour rock shows in London, you eat sandwiches and that's all you get. There's no, when we tour anyway. And there's no time to go out to Indian food or anything. So it's just, you know, what's for dinner? A sandwich or something, right? Go to bed. But they did have this one sandwich, which was turkey with stuffing and a little bit of cranberry on it, and that was like, that was a good day if they were selling that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Hey, Mom.
I have two questions for you. What was your favorite villain in Buffy, and what was your favorite season of Buffy?
Me?
That you helped her kill.
What?
That you helped her kill.
Oh.
I think it's the same answer.
Oh man, my favorite day, I have to say this, was this huge dragon. And it was a horrible scene. It just didn't work at all. It was like this $250,000 puppet that everyone was so excited about. It took like 9 people inside this thing to make it move, right? And they worked it out perfectly, got it on the set, and started dumping water on it. And they forgot that once this thing gets waterlogged, it's going to become incredibly heavy. And the stunt and the people inside the puppeteers were passing out. And the dragon just kept going. For a while they were like, more energy! And then they figured out the guys were really having a problem inside. Finally, the guys were taken out and they were said this is medically unsafe for them and the dragon. And everyone's freaking out, you know, like what do? We have to film this scene. We're screwed. And they've spent all of our money. There's no money left to fix this problem. And I'm like, okay, just prop the dragon up on a rock and give it to me. And hold me in a close-up, I'll do the rest. And I took that dragon and beat myself silly. We got the shots. I mean, it's pretty cheesy, but we got it in. I love all of you, but those of you coming to the rock show, I love you just.
Hello, James.
Hello.
My daughter is sitting in the front row. She's dressed like Poison Ivy.
Aww.
To the left. And she would really love it if you would say, "You always hurt the one you love, pet."
You always hurt the one you love, pet. You always hurt the one you love, pet.
And also, I believe I have the axe that you beat that dragon with. Really? Yep, and we're bringing it later on for you to get it signed.
I would love to sign that.
And I'm also the one that gave you the standee yesterday.
Oh, thank you. I've wanted one of those forever.
That's awesome.
Thank you, we love you.
Bless you.
Hi. I have two questions. One, what was your favorite song from Once More with Feeling? And two, how did you feel when you were first going into Torchwood?
I like rock and roll, so it'd be my song. I remember I couldn't figure out how to sing it, and then I started playing it on guitar, and I was like, hey, these chords are like Nirvana, rock it out! And I went to Joss, I was like, I found the rhythm for the song, we gotta play it like this. He was like, yeah, if Nirvana did it, but we're not gonna do it that way. What was the second part of the question?
How did you feel when you were first going into church?
I just had this, like, I'm a subversive artist. Like, I had a theater company in Chicago and Seattle, and subversion is not necessarily about making the audience angry or uncomfortable. It's a side effect of divesting the audience of the lies that they get taught before they know that they're being taught lies. And some of these lies are violence works, war is cool, old people are boring, you can buy Christmas, and gay people can't be heroes. And Torchwood took on that last lie right in your face. And I was so happy as a subversive to be a part of that show. And I just wanted to be in Kansas City and watch, like a Kansas City family watch Spike as the guy. My best friend is from Kansas. I did that for him.
Okay, so I'm a huge fan of the whole monster hunting genre, especially the really mystical, traditional kind. What do you think is most essential to making that work in terms of acting and on television?
What is most essential about taking a mystical character or a larger-than-life character, or I think rooting it in human experience, because ultimately the audience has to respond to something that they recognize. So even if your character is 1,000 feet tall, they've got to be going through some kind of human experience that the audience can go, oh, I felt that way too. Yeah. That's why Beecher didn't work so well in the Star Trek movie. It's no human thing at all. Yeah.
Hey.
I was like, who came up with that?
Name's Carol.
Hey,
Big
Carol.
fan. My question is, if you go on YouTube, you see a million videos with songs for Buffy and Spike. If you had to pick a song to represent Buffy and Spike and their relationship, what song would you pick?
Her name is Noelle. I got a dream about her. She rings my bell. I got gym class in half an hour. Oh, how she rocks in Keds and tube socks. And she doesn't know who I am. And she doesn't give a damn about me. Dirtbag, baby.
Hello there.
Hello.
So for years I didn't know that you were the one doing all the roles that I really liked. So I didn't know you were Piccolo, but I really like Piccolo, who's my favorite of the show, and I really like Spike. And now I'm talking Piccolo and Spike, and I'm kind of nervous. I'm like,
I fooled you.
Yes, you did. How do you put so much in-depth quality in your work? Like, each of those characters genuinely seem real. And you yourself seems like a very real person. How do you be a really real person and a really real character and be able to have such diversity in your roles that you do?
That's a really good question. There's a quote from who's the man? Ralph Waldo Emerson.
Yeah.
Who was a philosopher back in the 1800s. And he said, within all men are all men. Now, it was back in the 1800s, so if you live today, it would be within all are all, within all people are all people. And I took that to heart, and I was just like, wait a minute, that's gold for an actor. And what I came to realize is that all of us have multifaceted personalities. We have hundreds of facets. There's different sides of it. Some of which we show to our families, some of which we show to our boss, but they're very different. And when you play a character, you just have to pick like the 3 to 5 facets that fit that character and play on those facets. But it should always be you. So as embarrassing, and like, part of acting is you're not supposed to have to admit this, but they're all me. They're just different sides of me.
How did you not let one side take over the rest of you? So how did you not develop into your character?
Well, they do, you know, I mean, if you stay... that's one of the things that really bit me about Buffy was that I submerged in Buffy. And I didn't become the character Spike. I mean, people on the set, especially the crew, would be like, you're nothing like Spike at all. Thank God. Because, you know, you're nice to us, and we like that. We don't complain, but privately, it was taking over my psyche, and I don't know if there's anything to do about that. Normally, normally a role doesn't last that long, so it doesn't go on that long, but it does creep into you. I mean, if you were to spend all your life at work and you're always talking to your boss, you'd probably start identifying yourself with those facets that you only show your boss, and your wife would be like, who are you anymore? But yeah, they take over. I don't know what to say. I don't know that acting is healthy. You know, I don't know if a therapist would tell me to focus on those facets constantly. But the pay was good. And the show, so.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. I have to F off. Do we have time?
I didn't say that.
Do we have time for one more? Yeah, one more. Hello.
Okay, well, Once More Feeling was my favorite episode as well. You've already done what I was going to ask you to do, which was burst into song. Can you give us one more?
Is that?
Burst into song.
Yeah, there's a song I wrote that's on our last album that is a cappella, so I'll give that one. And I wrote it during the filming of that cowboy movie in Romania. Well, I'm alone in Avram with my lady by my side. After wars, I left her
and now she's come to watch me die. She's a flower in the sun, now she's crawling through the mud. 'Cause of me, 'cause of me. My heart was sick from killing engines with their babies in their beds. I'll refuse, but my general put his gun up to my head. And I wanted to come home so Abby wouldn't live alone. So I killed, burned them down.
Thank you.
Check out Sean Long, Jason David Frank, Tommy the Green Ranger.